A possible Apple car, a smaller Mac Mini. Let's get into some Apple news. All right, welcome back to my channel. And what we're going to do today is I have 7 different stories ranging from a new Apple car to smaller Mac Minis to some other things that are kind of interesting to me, maybe not to you, but we'll find out. Put in the comments what you think. So these are going to be 7 different stories, just Apple news about all different types of products. We have a couple different things about a flush-mounted flash drive for the new MacBooks that are coming out. Those are kind of cool, but is it worth it? And some other kind of crazy products that I don't think are going to sell that well. So sit back and relax, grab some popcorn, maybe a pop, maybe a beer with everything going on in the world, and let's just have some fun. So I'm going to go through all 7 stories. Without further ado, let's go. All right, so the first story, I'm going to share my screen over here in a second, but Apple's supposedly developing a car, which we all knew about, but it should be ready in about 4 years or so. And let's go ahead and take a look at my screen over here. This is from basically a British leasing company, Vanarama. Go ahead and check them out. They have some renderings here. Take a look at this. You can see some of the renderings. Looks kind of like, obviously an Apple product, but let me just kind of scroll down. You can see how the doors open here. Very interesting design. Obviously, the one thing that stands out to me, let's take a look at the seats here first. They kind of swivel in all different directions. Now, granted, they got these off of some patents, they said, so they should be fairly accurate. These are just renderings, though, obviously. If you look at the steering wheel here, it does have a steering wheel, which we'll get into, and it has a whole bunch of electronics on it. And ultimately, there's the back of the car, which I'm not sure I like too much, but who knows? So it's going to probably change, obviously. So anyways, here's the funny thing about this. So would you really want a car that's going to be, when I have an Apple product, it's so expensive, it's very delicate, I don't want to scratch it. Do you really want a car like that that's going to, you're going to be afraid to scratch? I don't know about that, number one. It says 4 years away. Let me just see here. And it says, let me see, it says it may not come with a steering wheel as well. And again, they say it may or may not. I think I would want a steering wheel, wouldn't you? They say they might need one for emergencies and stuff, but it should be an autonomous car. I'm not sure I'm ready for that. Let me know in the comments what you think. And then finally, to wrap this up, back at my screen here, I thought this was hilarious. Top rated comments. You can say that this guy says, I hope Apple doesn't make the charger like it does on the Apple mouse. Take a look at this on the bottom of the car. You can see it here. So just some fun there. It's kind of a funny little meme there. Anyways, let's get to the second story. All right, story number 2 comes by. Do you remember a company called Transcend? It offers a new Jet Drive. They call it the Jet Drive Lite 3300 expansion cards, up to 512 gigabytes. So over here, you can take a look at how they look. Now, what's interesting about this is a couple things. Now, number one, it's supposed to be flush up against. These are made specifically for the new 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros, so it's flush. It doesn't even stick out at all, and that's really cool. That's number one. The bad part is here, you can see down in here, it says it's about 95 megabytes per second to 75 for the writes. Very slow, considering it's a flash, but it's going to be that's very common with this type of flash, and also the port that comes on those MacBooks. So if we go to Amazon, we can take a look at some pricing here. It's let me just see here. It says 512 gigabytes is only $89. So again, very slow storage. But if you want something like for your backups or for stuff like that, this might be a good option. If we take a look at some of the pictures in here, you can see there's what it looks like. Should stick in. Let me show you here. It's very flush right there. I don't know if that shows you, but basically it won't stick out of the device, so you can't catch anything. It's just basically kind of sticks in like a hard drive. The problem with it, again, is, there's another good picture of it actually sticking into it, so you can barely see it, which is a cool thing. But if you scroll all the way down here, we'll see people do tests on this, and the tests, they're coming in pretty weak. Let's see if I can find a graphic in here. Here's one. This guy was doing a test. He got 36 megabytes on the writes and 89.9 on the reads. So again, if you're trying to write a lot of data to this, it's not a good idea, like to do, your editing on this. If you just want pure backup storage, it might be a good option for sure. So check it out. I'll have a link in the description. All right, number 3. This is kind of a funny thing. Now, this is from Snazzy Lab, and I don't know if you've ever seen that channel, but they're all about Apple as well. It's a really good channel, so check them out. I don't want to kind of take their stuff without giving them a shout out. So if you take a look over at my screen here, what he did on a recent video, and definitely check his channel out to go find this video. You can just type it in. It's a very recent video. But basically, he milled out a new case for the iMac, or for the Mac Mini, I'm sorry. And he took the M1 Mac Mini, he took out the power supply. It says, let me just see here, he says it made it 78% smaller. He took out the 150 watt power supply, put a he took that out, put it into a small case that he milled. You can see it here. He's got a whole video on it. You can check it out if you go to either Mac Rumors, which is a great site, or you can go directly on YouTube and just search for his site, Snazzy Labs. So he replaced it with an external, let me just see here, 65 watt external Microsoft Surface power supply. Somehow he got those to work together, and he put all the guts of the actual Mac Mini into this little teeny thing that was 73% smaller. So if you like that kind of stuff, you can see what's potentially there as far as how small they can get this thing by removing that power supply. Is Apple going to do that? We're going to know maybe in a few days. Also, I just want to ask a question. How small is too small with these devices? I know we keep trying to get smaller and smaller, but I kind of like something like this that's at least got some, it's not going to blow away on my desk or something. You let me know. I think maybe a little bit smaller than this is fine, but I don't want all my cables like all bunched up and stuff. I want, maybe half this is about the limit I'm saying. If it's going to be the size of a penny or something, I'm not for it. All right, the next story has got me scratching my head. This is actually something that they came out. So I don't know if you know about Nomad. It's a company that does a lot of different devices and stuff. They basically came out with Base One, which is an official MagSafe charger. And what that basically means is, it's Apple certified. I think there's only one other one. It says here by Belkin, and they actually did it, but it's iPhone certified, so it's one of the few that's not like these Chinese companies. It probably is a Chinese company, but it's not one that hasn't been certified. So anyways, if we take a look over at my screen here, it's $130. So again, it's supposedly super heavy. They say it's like 515 grams, made out of aluminum. They say it's a high, very high end, and it can do fast charging, all that kind of stuff. But it's, what did they say here, $90 more than just the Apple MagSafe charger. So again, I'm looking at this. They say a lot of that cost comes from the fees that Apple requires them to pay to be certified. So if that's the case, why would you pick this up? Give me some reasons. Check it out. Let me know why you think you'd pick up a $130 MagSafe charger. For when you can pick up a certified Apple one for $9 cheaper. I have absolutely no idea. Is this deemed to fail? I think it is. All right, the next story is about Honor. I don't know if you know Honor. They basically had done some cell phones in the past. I think it's another Chinese company. Anyways, they made some AirPod-like earbuds, and you can see them here basically. So long story short, let me just go in here. They call them the Earbuds 3 Pro. If you look at the picture, they look very similar. They're making them very similar to the AirPods, I guess, by Apple. They want to kind of compete there. They say they're $199, so that's kind of expensive, obviously, in this kind of range where you can just pick up a normal Apple one, right? But the reason that this is getting even a story is it's got temperature monitoring built into it, and I guess it works very, very good. But let me ask you a couple questions. Number one, I'm guessing it's for coronavirus and your health and stuff. Number two, though, are you guys all getting sick of all these type of health things? Like, obviously, when we turn on the TV now, 90% of the ads on there are about getting some kind of drug that can cause a million different problems. This constant, do I really want to be, it says it's got it's monitoring. If your temperature goes too high, it's going to warn you and give you all these warnings and stuff. Do you really want to be walking around the earth always afraid of everything like this? I understand it can help some people in specific areas, but at the end of the day, do I really want to know what my temperature is every single day of my life? If I feel bad, I'll stick a thermometer in my mouth and that'll be it. Let me know what you think. Is this going to be a kind of a downer at $200 for a temperature sensor, or is it something people would use? You let me know. All right, and the last two stories are really quick ones. So over at my screen here, if you're a OneDrive user because you use a PC also, and you use OneDrive for your storage instead of Apple storage, or you want to for business or something, it's official. Apple has been testing the pre-release. Well, it's not official yet, but it's basically of OneDrive. Actually it is, it says. So it says they're excited to announce that OneDrive for Mac OS will now run natively on Mac Silicon. So they basically finally got it to work with the M1 Mac Silicon chips without using Rosetta Stone and Rosetta. And so it's going to be very, very fast, no performance hits. And so now it works natively with it. It's very fast. Check it out. And then the last story is another crazy story about another crazy product. So it says Apple Studio Display. Apple's currently has a patent, they're kind of working on one, and it's going to be 7K. So let's take a step back. So the 6K monitor they came out with before was $49.99, and obviously you can probably pick it up a little bit cheaper now. I wanted a display somewhere in the $600 to $700 range. Let me know what you think. Do I really need a 7K? Who needs a 7K display? Obviously maybe some really high-end film development or something like that. YouTube editors, no. The average user, no. I have a 5K iMac, and it's, I'd never need more than that as far as resolution, unless the screen's going to be massive. They haven't said the size of the screen yet, but it's, even if it's $2,500, $3,000, even though it might be even more than $5,000, we don't know. Is anyone going to need this 7K? I mean, come on. I know that there's 8K, cameras and everything else, but what is really needed in this world? I mean, that's something that I don't think is. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? All right, I'm just going to wrap it up. Those are the stories for this week. Let me know what you think. Are these some of these products, are they going to be good sellers or not? I don't think some of them will be for sure. Just interesting to see the Apple car as well, what's coming out with that. I mean, do you really want a car that's going to not have a steering wheel possibly and is going to basically be fully taking over from your everyday tasks of driving a car? I don't know. Or you don't even want to scratch it, and who knows what the cost is going to be. No, it's a lot of negative. I know people might get excited about that stuff, but the reality is I'm not ready for it. Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon. Peace.